So, rotted wood of the type that appears to be under a bathroom may have a retail value of $1,000 or so. I'll have a better understanding of it when I see the upper port. The line that flows from it is called the sewer lateral.
Yeah.
And it looks to be tight, but it has plastic pipe running to it. Can't use plastic pipe legally in San Francisco.
Hold on one
So
second.
in
There's
order
someone
to meet
knocking on the door. Hang on.
So rotted wood of the type that appears to be under a bathroom may have a retail value of $1,000 or so. I'll have a better understanding of it when I see the upper port. The line that flows from it is called the sewer lateral.
Yeah.
And it looks to be tight, but it has plastic pipe running to it. Can't use plastic pipe legally in San Francisco.
Hold on one
So
second. There's
in order
someone
to meet
knocking on the door. Hang on.
Hi, how are you?
So yeah, this stuff all needs to be replaced.
Time for a deck.
Time for a deck.
So this whole decking is pretty, I mean, there's 2 levels of it. What's the cost of that?
Well, let me see. I'll come up with that when I see the other. Because
Okay.
If the other one needs to be replaced, the sensible thing is to replace both.
Okay. What about the stairs?
Well, they are in better condition than the deck.
Okay, stairs are better condition than the deck.
Okay, all right, good. Anything else to report down here?
Well, more of those old single glazed aluminum windows. It looks
Right,
like
they all need to be
most of the house
replaced.
has it, and they're at the end of their life.
Got it.
Usually a house this size, to replace it with new wood windows at the front and maybe vinyl windows at the rear and the side, it's pretty easy to spend $25,000.
It's a 3,000 square foot house, so maybe even more.
Well, it could be.
It's 3 levels.
It's funny that there's actually more house here than there appears to be from the front.
Uh-huh.
I think it's probably because of this
It's
down.
download slope, yeah. All right, should we go check it out?
Yeah.
Say that again, crack in the
There's-
foundation?
There's 2 cracks in the rear foundation, and it's an indication that the foundation has moved and settled. I don't think it's a structural issue yet, but it could be in the future unless it's addressed.
So even though there's that new foundation, these are issues, right?
Yes, they are, and it's the sort of thing that has a lot of cost associated with it, because the least expensive thing to do is to build a concrete wall outside this to add strength to it. That's probably about $10,000.
Okay. Starting to add up. Okay.
The little roof over the front is at the end of its life. It has about a $1,500 repair cost. The ceilings that have this textured effect, it's called acoustic spray. It is the type of material that may contain asbestos. In fact, it's probably more likely that it contains asbestos than not. So it has to be professionally abated. Well, this bathroom is kind of the best of 1970.
The boys were concerned with some of the, do you see in the corner there, Bill?
Yeah. Well, you may remember we were downstairs.
Yep,
We saw all that damp sheetrock right along this corner.
Yep.
Right in this area.
Yep.
I think this is where the
Problem is.
that emanated from. It probably emanated from a water running out of the bathtub
okay.
from the shower. So
That's all really soft, right?
yeah, and I think that the way to think about this, I'm looking at the tile right now. The tile has popped off the surface, so there's moisture behind it. I think the simple way to look at this is time for a new bathroom.
Completely new bathroom.
Yes, take it out.
Like the
start
floor needs to come out.
again. The floor, the framing. you gotta
It's
take-
not a cosmetic thing.
No.
Okay.
You gotta take it out and start again.
What's the cost of that?
Well, if you used the equivalent materials, probably about $15,000.
Okay. But you probably want to use modern.
Yeah, and you want to use something a little fancy. Well, fancier costs more.
Yeah, got it.
So the kitchen is pretty commensurate with the bathroom, and it's kind of 1970 or so. And it's got these kind of cowboy-style cabinets. There's a very modest, the best one could expect here is a very modest level of function. And I think the sensible thing to consider is you need a kitchen and a bathroom. There's a lot of square footage here, and because there's a lot of square footage, you could do a proper job and have an attractive kitchen. And there's probably a lot of view.
Yeah.
There is a lot of view out the back. So, because of that, it's probably worth spending a lot of money on the kitchen. One of the things I recognize now is when you walk from the kitchen to the rear of the building, you're walking downhill.
Yeah.
And that downhill is the result of the framing settled. So it's not just repairing the foundation at the back of the building, it's going to be readjusting the framing so that the floor at this level is flat and straight.
Oh, I guess that was the decking, huh? Oh, you know what? We didn't go in the metal floor, so let's go
So
down.
the middle floor must be that floor that,
Has the in-law.
okay,
And we weren't there because those other people were there.
yeah, that's the one that was locked.
Yeah.
So this is this on the, now we're looking at the upper level deck.
Yeah, the upper level deck is in better condition than the lower level deck. The deck boards are not in good condition, but the support framing looks to be in good condition. So the deck that we're standing on now needs to be replaced. The deck above us just needs to have the deck boards, the boards that you walk on, replaced. But the support system looks okay.
Okay. So, and the cost of that?
Well, to do both, and let me take a quick look at these stairs. These stairs are okay, so the cost of doing both of them is probably about $6,000 or so. But that's to put it back the way it was. There's an opportunity to make a much bigger deck, and the Department of Zoning would allow you to go further back, and maybe that might be something to consider as part of a renovation. So more deck means more cost.
Got it.
On the rear of the building, the siding material is called Texture 111. It's plywood siding from around 1970, so it's commensurate with the bathroom and the kitchen. And what it means to me is that about 40 odd years ago, they did a renovation on this building that was probably done the most economic way as possible. So they used, even at that time, things that were inexpensive, which didn't wear well. I think the right thing to do when you do a renovation of this building is take all the siding off and use rustic siding, which is that type of material up there, which is architecturally the type of material that's appropriate for a building like this.
So the siding needs to come off?
Well, it doesn't need to come off for any structural reason, but it should be replaced so that it is consistent with the original architecture of the
Got it.
building.
Okay. So what's the cost of that?
Well, that's at least $5,000 to take that off and start again, because
Okay.
it goes all the way down.
Yeah.
And you'd have to do it at the same time you're doing the decks, because the decks tie into the framing
Sure.
that's in the walls. Sure. The flooring in the kitchen is a synthetic material, a vinyl, hardwood, pergo, something like that. It's kind of okay, but I'm inclined to think that if you really wanted to do what should be done to this building, which means a nice new kitchen, you have a nice big area for dining, the sensible thing is to open it all up and start again and come up with a proper design. Now, in regard to a proper design.
Hang on one second.